माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरवनचारी। यमुना तीरवनचारी। राधे राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना। यशोदानंदन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरवनचारी। यमुना तीर यमुना तीरवनचारी। यमुना। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम। जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधे। जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा सुभद्रा देवी जय सुदर्शना। सुभद्रा देवी जय जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from 7th Canto, Chapter 9. Prahlad pacifies Lord Nrsimhadev with prayers. Text 49. Hare Krishna. Naite gunana gunino mahadadayo ye सर्वे mana prabhritaya sahadeva martya आद्यन्तवन्त उरुगाय विदन्ति हि त्वाम् एवं विमृश्य सुधियो विरमन्ति शब्दात् नैते गुणान् गुणिनो महदादयो ये सर्वे मनः प्रभृतयः सहदेवमर्त्या आद्यन्तवन्त उरुगाय विदन्ति हि त्वाम् एवं विमृश्य सुधियो विरमन्ति शब्दात् नैते गुणान् गुणिनो महदादयो ये सर्वे मनः प्रभृतयः सहदेवमर्त्या आद्यन्तवन्त उरुगाय विदन्ति हि त्वाम् एवं विमृश्य सुधियो विरमन्ति शब्दात् मर्त्या आद्यन्तवन्त उरुगाय विदन्ति हि एवं विमृश्य सुधियो विरमन्ति शब्दात् नैते गुणान् गुणिनो महदादयो ये सर्वे मनः प्रभृतयः सहदेवमर्त्या आद्यन्तवन्त उरुगाय विदन्ति हि त्वाम् एवं विमृश्य सुधियो विरमन्ति शब्दात् नैते गुणान् गुणिनो महदादयो ये आद्यन्तवन्त उरुगाय विदन्ति हि एवं विरमन्ति सुधियो विरमन्ति शब्दात्। माताजी's नीते गुणान्न गुणिनो महदादयो ये सर्वे मया प्रवृत्तयः सदेवमर्त्या अद्यन्तवन्तौ ऋगाय विदन्ति एवं विमर्शयो सर्वे मनः प्रवृत्तयः सहदेवमर्त्या आद्यन्तवन्तौ ऋगाय विदन्ति एवं विमृश्यसु धियो विरमन्ति शब्दात्. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Na, neither, ete, all these, guna, three qualities of material nature. Na, nor, guninaha, the predominating deities of the three modes of material nature, namely Lord Brahma, the predominating deity of passion, and Lord Shiva, the predominating deity of ignorance. Mahadadayaha, the five elements, the senses and the sense objects. Ye, those which, sarve, all, manaha, the mind, prabhratayaha, and so on. Sahadeva martya, with the demigods and the mortal human beings. Adyantavantaha, who all have a beginning and end. Urugaya, O Supreme Lord, who are glorified by all saintly persons. Vidanti, understand. He, indeed, Tvam, your Lordship. Evam, thus, Vimrashya, considering. Sudhiyaha, all wise men. Viramanti, cease. Shabdat, from studying or understanding the Vedas. Translation. Neither the three modes of material nature, Sattva Guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna, nor the predominating deities controlling these three modes, nor the five gross elements, nor the mind, nor the demigods, nor the human beings can understand your Lordship, for they are all subjected to birth and annihilation. Considering this, the spiritually advanced have taken to devotional service. Such wise men hardly bother with Vedic study. Instead, they engage themselves in practical devotional service. Purport. As stated in several places, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. Only by devotional service can the Supreme Lord be understood. The intelligent person, the devotee, does not bother much about the practices mentioned in the text 46. Mauna Vrata Shruta Tapo Adhyayana Swadharma. After understanding the Supreme Lord through devotional service, such devotees are no longer interested in the studies of the Vedas. Indeed, this is confirmed in the Vedas also. The Vedas say, Kim artha vayam adyeshamahe, kim artha vayam vakshamahe. What is the use of studying so many Vedic literatures? What is the use of explaining them in different ways? Vayam vakshamahe. No one needs to study any more Vedic literatures, nor does anyone need to describe them by philosophical speculation. Bhagavad Gita 2.52 also says, Yada te moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. When one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead by executing devotional service, one ceases the practice of studying the Vedic literatures. Elsewhere, it is said, Aradito yadi haris tapasa tatakim Narada Pancharatra. If one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engage in his service, there is no more need of severe austerities, penances, and so on. However, if after performing severe austerities and penances, one does not understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such practices are useless. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. I seek the blessings of all the devotees so that I can speak, discuss on this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a section of Prahlada Maharaj. Basically, the entire, in the beginning, 10 chapters of this canto are dedicated for Prahlada Narasimha pastimes. And specifically in this verse, this verse comes in the concluding section of Prahlada Maharaj prayers to pacify Lord Narasimha. And when Hiranyakashipu was killed, Prahlada Maharaj, Narasimha was extremely angry. And to pacify Narasimha's anger, all the demigods, including Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the exalted personalities, they all requested Prahlada Maharaj to go forward and pacify Narasimha. At that time, when there was Brahma, who is an Acharya, and there was Lord Shiva, who is the greatest of all the Vaishnavas, in front of all these exalted personalities, Prahlada Maharaj felt very much humbled. And he says, he recites the initial verses expressing his humility or his hesitation of coming forward and expressing prayers to Narasimha in the presence of all those great personalities. Here we have many devotees who are practicing from many decades, preaching, practicing and teaching in front of all the devotees. I'm also able to understand what Prahlad could have felt when he was asked to pacify the Lord in front of all the devotees, all the other exalted devotees. So I desperately need the blessings of all the devotees present here, especially Rupa Goswami Prabhu, Ramanita Prabhu, and many others. Every devotee who is present here has made contribution in my life, and I feel very fortunate. Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki, Gaur Nitai ki. And I feel very fortunate to get all of them as an instrument of Lord to help me progress in my devotional service. So please bless me that may Krishna bless me with right words to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam, with right feelings while glorifying, and right intentions to glorify Bhakti in a way that brings pleasure to all the devotees. So specifically in this verse, Prahlada Maharaj, this last section of this series of prayers from verse number 46 to verse number 50, here Prahlada Maharaj is making a very important point. He is glorifying the path of Bhakti. Entirely this chapter 9 is full of Prahlada Maharaj prayers. These prayers were expressed by Prahlada Maharaj in order to pacify the transcendentally angry heart of 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃. And these hearts, these prayers can also pacify the burning hearts of the jivas with lust, anger and all the anarthas, as Prahlada Maharaj mentions in these prayers. So Prahlada's prayers are filled with the devotion to Lord 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃, and they are filled with the compassion for all the jivas. And with that compassion, he is mentioning these last 5 verses and appealing to all the suffering jivas that if you want to get out of the sufferings, there is no other method than Bhakti. So these 5 verses are spoken to highlight the glory of Bhakti. So we will discuss this verse with 2 main points. It has 2 sections. One is that Bhakti is not dependent on anything material. 𝗦𝗲𝗃 gunanna gunino 𝗦𝗲𝗃𝘃. Neither on the 3 modes of material nature, nor the predominating deities controlling these 3 modes, nor the 5 elements, nor the mind, nor the demigods, nor the human beings can understand your Lordship. So this is the first part of this verse, wherein Prahlada Maharaj is saying that Bhakti is not dependent on anything material. It is anything material in the sense, even the 3 modes of material nature. Bhakti is not caused by them. Neither the paths of karma, jnana, they do not give any they do not become the cause of Bhakti at all. This is the first part of this verse. And there are innumerable examples of how Bhakti is not aroused by any of the other paths, as mentioned in the previous verses. Mauna, Vrata, Tapasya, all those things. We can see from Chaitanya Lila, when the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the milk drinking Brahmana. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have Sankirtan at the house of Srivasangan every day night, it was a closed Sankirtan, so no one was allowed. And this milk drinking Brahmana was eager to experience, eager to witness the Sankirtan. And he somehow sneaked in with the permission of Srivas Thakur. And when Mahaprabhu, you all know the pastime, how it goes. Then Mahaprabhu becomes very angry upon this Brahmana when he was introduced as he is a sinless Brahmana who drinks only milk, very austere. And Mahaprabhu condemns the path of austerity there and glorifies Bhakti, saying that no one can attain Bhakti by performing austerities, such as this Brahmana was performing the austerity of drinking, sustaining only on the milk. So that is one incident where Mahaprabhu is clearly depicting that Bhakti is the only way to please him. And later when the Brahmana feels very grateful for having received one chance for witnessing Mahaprabhu's Leela, then with that gratitude in the heart, Mahaprabhu's mood towards him changes and he gets the mercy. So this is one example where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself glorifies bhakti and minimizes the position of all the practices. And we can also see there are many other examples as Devananda Pandit. Devananda Pandit was a very learned man. He was a scholar. But because he did not accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or did not accept any devotee shelter for studying Bhagavatam, although he was studying Bhagavatam itself, still he did not have right conclusions until he received the mercy of 𝗕𝗵𝗴 Pandit. 𝗕𝗵𝗴 Pandit stayed at his home for a few days, and by his association, Devanand Pandit came to the right conclusions and then received the mercy of Mahaprabhu. So that shows that even the learnings or scholarly approach is not going to give rise to bhakti. Mahaprabhu was even ready to tear off the book that he was reading, Srimad Bhagavatam. So like this, there are innumerable examples wherein we can see that bhakti is not dependent on anything material. Even the practices in the mode of goodness do not give rise to even a particle of bhakti. And there are innumerable examples where we can see that Lord is not conquered or bhakti is not attained by other processes. We can see the example of the fruit vendor lady. We have the picture there. The fruit vendor lady, she was from a tribal background. You can imagine, tribal background, people living in forest. Just because she offered few fruits, Krishna was fully conquered and he filled her heart with Krishna Prem. So did not allure Krishna with anything else. Krishna was tempted by devotion of that lady. So bhakti is not dependent on anything material. Then the question comes, how does one get bhakti? If bhakti is not obtainable by any of these processes, how does one get bhakti? So bhakti is obtained only by bhakti. Bhakti sanjayate bhakti. There is nothing material that can give rise to devotion in the heart. And this is a very important principle which Prahlada Maharaj is bringing out in this section of prayers, that bhakti is caused only by bhakti and not by any other processes which are described in the Vedas. And especially this principle of bhakti, that bhakti gives rise to bhakti, is very essential to be understood for both, for those who want to tread on this path of Ananya Bhakti and experience Krishna, so that their faith is not reposed on the other Vedic practices. And also for those who are preaching and guiding devotees on this path of bhakti, so that they do not introduce practices which are on the lower platforms of material nature. So therefore, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur very emphatically brings out, if you want to understand it very logically, how bhakti causes bhakti, then you may read the first chapter of Madhurya Kadambini, or you may read the purport of Bhagavatam 1-6, 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃 परो धर्मो अहैतुकी अपratihata. So that will give a logical explanation for how bhakti is caused by bhakti only. Even the practices, sometimes the practices in the mode of goodness may be considered as a cause of bhakti. Somebody is very pious, but that does not lead to bhakti. So for this, so how does bhakti come then? How does bhakti come? Bhakti comes from bhakti. If I don't have bhakti, how do I get bhakti then? How does bhakti come then? So bhakti resides in the heart of bhaktas. That is a vehicle for bhakti to move from one place to another. And there are various kinds of devotions, bhaktis. And bhakti in 5 rasas, Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. And There are innumerable kinds of flavors of bhakti. Bhakti of Prahlada towards 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃 has a certain flavor, and bhakti of Hanuman towards Ram has certain flavor, and bhakti of the gopis towards Krishna, Vrajavasis towards Krishna has certain flavor. So whichever kind of devotee we come across, we associate with, that sort flavored bhakti flows from his heart to the recipient. The bhakti resides in the heart of the devotees, and bhakti moves from the heart of the devotee to another devotee, another living being. So, especially in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the kind of devotion, the kind of bhakti we are receiving is very special. It is never offered in the past. It's very rarely offered in the one day of Brahma at once. So there is one very beautiful example from Chaitanya Charitamrita which will help us understand how the specific type of bhakti which Mahaprabhu has given is very distinct. In this chapter of, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling to Vrindavan, whenever he would come across Yamuna, he would become very ecstatic seeing Yamuna, and he would start doing kirtan and dance with his associates. And in the course of that, people around whomever he would come across, they also would become very ecstatic by seeing his devotion. Now, when Mahaprabhu comes very close to Vrindavan, when he comes to Mathura, this is an incident that takes place there. We will just read the translation. When he approached Mathura, please hear carefully, we are going to read very few slokas, and it is a very subtle thing. When he approached Mathura and saw city, he immediately fell to the ground and offered obeisances with ecstatic love. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go mad even by thinking about Vrindavan or Mathura. What to speak of witnessing? Now directly he is witnessing. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the city of Mathura, he took his bath at Vishram Ghat. He then visited the birthplace of Krishna and saw the deity named 𝗕𝗵𝗃. He offered his respectful obeisances to this deity. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted, danced and made loud vibrations, all the people were astonished to see his ecstatic love. One Brahmana fell at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then began to dance with him in ecstatic love. You can just imagine, everyone is just witnessing, but this one Brahmana comes very close to Mahaprabhu, offers his obeisances and starts dancing with him, and all others are still witnessing. The two of them danced in ecstatic love and embraced each other. Raising their arms, they said, "Chant the holy names of Hare and Krishna." All the people then began to chant Hare Hare, and then was a great uproar. The priest in Lord 𝗕𝗵𝗃's service offered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a garland. When the people saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing and chanting, they were struck with wonder, and they all said, "Such transcendental love is never an ordinary thing," because it was not usual for people to see some sannyasi dancing in ecstatic love. The people said, "Simply by seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everyone is maddened with love of Krishna. Indeed, everyone is laughing, crying, dancing, chanting, taking the holy name of Krishna." Certainly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in all respects the incarnation of Lord Krishna. Now he has come to Mathura to deliver everyone. After this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the Brahmana aside. He took him aside. There is some reason. Sitting in a solitary place, the Lord began to question him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "You are an elderly Brahmana. You are sincere and you are advanced in spiritual life. Where from you have gotten this transcendental opulence of ecstatic love for Krishna? This kind of ecstatic love, from where did you obtain, he is asking. Now he replies. The Brahmana replied, His Holiness Srila 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃 came to Mathura city while he was on a tour. While at Mathura, Sripad 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃 visited my house and accepted me as a disciple. He even took lunch at my home. After installing the deity of Gopal, Srila 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃 rendered him service. That very deity is still being worshipped at Govardhan Hill. As soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard about 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃's relationship with this Brahmana, he immediately offered obeisances at his feet. Becoming fearful, the Brahmana also immediately fell at the lotus feet of Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, You are on the platform of my spiritual master, and I am your disciple. Since you are my spiritual master, it is not befitting that you offer me obeisances. Upon hearing this, the Brahmana became afraid. He then said, Why do you speak like this? You are a sannyasi. Upon seeing your ecstatic love, I can just imagine that you must have some relation with 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃. This is my understanding. This kind of ecstatic love can be experienced only when one has relationship with 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃. Without him, even a scent of such transcendental ecstatic love is impossible. So we can see here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recognized a specific type of devotion that this Brahmana was carrying. Although there were many people who also felt happy and danced, but the kind of devotion which this Brahmana had, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suspected in the beginning itself that jana pehchana hai. There is some very specific flavor which I have relish is in this person. From where did he get this? He could immediately guess that he must have some connection with 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃. So therefore the bhakti moves from heart to heart, and specifically the kind of devotion which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give, and our Goswamis have spread it across, and Srila Prabhupada has boundlessly spread it across. It's very unique and very special. And as soon as if you are traveling outside in a crowded train or a buzzy place, and if somebody says out of the blue HareKrishna, you can immediately sense that to which temple he is connected to, from where is he. The one HareKrishna is enough to understand that he is somewhere connected. So bhakti moves from one heart to another, and there are the kind of flavor that bhakti one devotee carries that moves from that heart to another heart. So the flavor of bhakti which Mahaprabhu has come to offer has been rarely offered in the past. Rather, it's said to be never offered until Mahaprabhu came. And this is the first point, that bhakti moves from heart of a devotee to another. Bhakti is not caused by anything material. And the second point that we are going to discuss is, as soon as a devotee accepts Krishna consciousness fully, then he gives up all the other practices. First thing is, all these other practices do not lead to bhakti, and as soon as someone takes to devotional service and becomes a devotee, he does not anymore depend on all those things, does not anymore repose his faith on other paths. And the same pastime, if you see it ahead, if you remember, Prahlada Maharaj lists even the practice of swadharma or varnashram dharma also as not a cause of bhakti. So we can see in this particular pastime, if you read few more verses ahead, this kind of ecstatic love can be experienced only when one has... Okay, this is done. Balabhadra Bhattacharya then explained the relationship between Madhavendra Puri and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After hearing this, Brahmana became very pleased to begin. The Brahmana then took Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home and out of his own free will began to serve the Lord in various ways. He asked Balabhadra Bhattacharya to cook Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lunch. At that time, the Lord, smiling, spoke as follows. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Madhavendra Puri has already taken lunch at your place. Therefore, you may cook and give me the food. That is my instruction. Whatever action a Brahmana performs, a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standard he sets by exemplary act, all the world pursues. The Brahmana belonged to Sanodiya Brahmana community and a sannyasi does not accept food from such a Brahmana family. A sannyasi does not accept from... this is a practice in the Varnashram Dharma. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not giving much value to it because for him, the connection of this devotee with Madhavendra Puri is more important. Seeing that Bhakti principle, Mahaprabhu is showing that Bhakti is beyond even the Varnashrama. So those who take to the path of devotional service, they do not repose their faith on any other practices. So in the purport of today's verse, Prabhupada also recites a verse from Bhagavad Gita. And the purport of this verse is also very beautiful. Translation. Can someone read this? You have a mic? Okay. When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. The purport is very interesting. There are many good examples in the lives of great devotees of the Lord of those who became indifferent to the rituals of the Vedas simply by devotional service to the Lord. When a person factually understands Krishna and his relationship with Krishna, he naturally becomes completely indifferent to the rituals of fruitive activities, even though an experienced Brahmana. Sri Madhavendra Puri, a great devotee and acharya in the line of devotees, says, okay, long verse. O my prayers 3 times a day, all glory to you. O bathing, I offer my obeisance unto you. O demigods, O forefathers, please excuse me for my inability to offer you my respects. Now, wherever I sit, I can remember the great descendant of Yadu dynasty, Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, and thereby I can free myself from all the sinful bondage. I think this is sufficient for me. So this is Madhavendra Puri offering obeisances to all the Vedic rituals. He is respecting, but at the same time, he is not taking shelter of them. And the purport continues. The Vedic rites and rituals are imperative for neophytes, comprehending all kinds of prayers 3 times a day, Sandhya, taking a bath early in the morning, offering respects to the forefathers, etc. But when one is fully Krishna conscious and is engaged in his transcendental loving service, one becomes indifferent to all these regulative principles because he has already attained perfection. If one can reach the platform of understanding by service to the Lord, to Supreme Lord Krishna, he has no longer to execute different types of penances, sacrifices as recommended in the revealed scriptures. And similarly, if one has not understood that the purpose of Vedas is to reach Krishna and simply engage in the rituals, etc., then he is uselessly wasting time in such engagements. Persons in Krishna consciousness transcend the limits of Shabda Brahma or the range of the Vedas and Upanishads. So there are many examples of how the devotees have given up the practices of Vedic rituals, having understood the path of Krishna consciousness. We can see in Prabhupada's life also, wherever needed, Prabhupada compromised with the Vedic practices. For example, when there was a need to open a brahmacharini ashram, which is not there, its concept is not there in the Vedic practices. Prabhupada did that, considering that that is a favorable at that time. And he also gave initiation and made gurus from the people who were having all the bad habits of drug addiction or meat eating. People who are coming from all these backgrounds are considered unqualified from the Vedic perspective to become gurus for performing or delivering others. They are considered they are not fit to deliver even themselves. They have to take another birth. But Srila Prabhupada, knowing the position of bhakti, 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃 𝗕𝗵 यज्जिह्वाग्रे वर्तते नाम तुभ्यम, or Kirata Hunandra. There are many verses. Knowing the essence of bhakti, Srila Prabhupada did not get stuck up with the Vedic practices. Because as we read, the devotee, for him, the Vedas or Upanishads, they are not the boundaries. He is beyond them. So this is a very important principle because if our faith is not exclusively on the path of bhakti and it is distributed or reposed on the Vedic practices, then for practicing Ananya Bhakti, it creates a challenge. And when we preach, the same seed also goes in our preaching. So therefore, this point is repeatedly appearing in many sections of Bhagavatam, and all our acharyas have always emphasized it. And there is also one more verse which Prabhupada writes in the Antya. So this verse is quoted from 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗃 in the purport of Antilila 4.71. So we are taking this verse because in the purport of our today's verse, in the verse of today's discussion, this word comes. Evam vimrusha sudhiyo viramanti shabdat. Viramanti means giving up. The same word is appearing here in this verse, viramita. This verse glorifies the holy name. Jayati Jayati Namananda Rupam Murarer Viramita Nija Dharma Dhyana Puja Diyatnam Kathamapi Sakridattam Muktidam Praninam Yat Paramam Amritam Ekam Jivanam Bhushanam Me. All glories to the blissful holy name of Sri Krishna, which causes the devotee to give up all conventional religious duties and meditation and worship. The holy name, whoever chants, itself make the job. As one progresses, one comes to this level of faith that he naturally gets full faith on the path of bhakti. When somehow or other uttered even once by a living entity, the holy name awards him liberation. The holy name of Krishna is the highest nectar. It is my very life and my only treasure. So this verse also talks about how a devotee who has taken to devotional service, he gives up the lower practices, knowing that they do not, material practices, knowing that these Vedic practices do not give rise to devotion. So these are the two main points that we discussed today. And also, so in the previous purport we read that how Madhavendra Puri is giving up the practices, Vedic practices. So there are three types of devotees. This is described in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita by Baldev Vidyabhushan. Three kinds of devotees: Sanishtha, Parinishta, and Nirapeksha. Sanishta devotee means he practices bhakti angas. At the same time, his faith on the Vedic practices is still there. He is not able to give it up. Whereas Parinishta devotee, his faith that bhakti is the only cause of bhakti is fully there, and he also continues to respect the other varnashram practices and all, just to set an example for the society, just to get a platform for preaching. And Nirapeksha devotee, he has full faith on the practice of bhakti and no faith that the Vedic practices give rise to devotion. And externally also he does not bother about following those practices. So we can see Madhavendra Puri in the category of Nirapeksha. He did not bother about it. And we can see Parinishta devotee who has pure faith, but the other practices he does just for maintaining the not causing any disturbance in the society. We can see the example of Ramanujacharya, about whom a couple of days ago Srivastchandra Prabhu mentioned that he would do Sandhya Bandhan even till the last day of his life. He would go to the river Kaveri and do that. That is an example of Parinishta devotee. Yeah. So the three kinds of devotees, and the practices we see, the varnashram practices that we see even existing today and practiced by pure devotees, they do it not as a part of their sadhana. They do it in order to not cause any social disturbance and get a platform for preaching. So these are the 2 points I felt are highlighted by Prahlad in these prayers, that bhakti is not caused by anything material, but bhakti is caused by bhakti. And those who have attained bhakti, they do not repose their faith on the Vedic practices. Hare Krishna. Any comments, any corrections are welcome for discussion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for driving us to toward the pure devotion of the Lord. So, Prabhuji, my question is that how to identify that I am doing bhakti in proper path, and what are the checkpoints that yes, really I am following the instruction, the process set by the Acharya, and how to understand that we are progressing on that path. And if you see that the second part, that many people outside, they are doing different kind of bhaktis related to Lord Narayana. So they also will get the destination like pure devotees. Like occasionally they are doing very ritually, very nicely. So how to identify that they are also moving on the same path of pure devotional service of the Lord?
How to see our own progress? For that, Prabhupada has always, in many of his lectures, has talked about the stages of bhakti, beginning from Shraddha to Prema. And this has been mentioned by Prabhupada in many purports and explained by in his lectures hundreds of times. And to know more detail about this, we can read Madhurya Kadambini book, which talks about the milestones of bhakti. What all we can expect on the path of progressing in the path of bhakti. So that gives us an understanding of where we are, where we need to go upon. That gives a very clear understanding. And regarding about other practices, about people practicing some sort of worship of Sai Narayana and all, there may be mixed understanding. We don't know what kind of understanding they are carrying. Basically, the kind of practice we adopt, that kind of goal we attain. As per our sadhana, we get our sadhya. And if in their practice, if there are angas of bhakti, then gradually they are moving towards sadhya. But if the sadhya and sadhana is not clear to them, they will not get the same result as pure devotees or practicing devotees. Yeah, sadhana is given by the acharyas. The angas of bhakti are mentioned. Prabhuji, star question. Mic is. I'm not very learned, but I have tried to explain my understanding. You can take the mic.
Hare Krishna, 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝘃, it was so enlightening and enlivening to hear from you for the first time for myself. And it was so nourishing to hear. Actually, Bhagavatam says, 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝘃 vishuddhartham nvanamya lakshanam varnayanti mahatmanah shutena arthena chanjasa. So you are, as you said that, like Prahlada Maharaj, feeling is coming, among all the devotees. We are, like initial part you mentioned. So you are going in the path of Mahatmas because you are indicating the Ashraya Tattva in describing Srimad Bhagavatam, that Mahaprabhu's attraction towards the Brahmana. So that is the goal of Ashraya Tattva and all. So thank you so much. It was so nourishing to hear such authentic and clear description. My question is, I already have this intrigue actually, that holy name and holy fame of Lord is all merciful. No, anyone who chants the holy name, where whatever disposition he has, holy name will be merciful. Same is the case with holy fame of the Lord. So we have examples in Bhagavatam, rather Chaitanya Charitamrita, for both. Like you mentioned one example of Devanand Pandit, who would study Srimad Bhagavatam. And still he could not understand the conclusion of Bhagavatam. And then we have Raghupati Upadhyaya, who would chant the holy name 24/7. He was serving a great Goswami, but still, his disposition seems to remain not so appropriate. So I was trying to understand this, that if they are approaching the all merciful forms of the Krishna in this age of Kali, the Bhagavatam and the holy name, still how is it that it is not being merciful, or is it wrong perception of myself that? So can you please clarify?
The example of Ram Mishra, who was assistant of Ramdas Vishwas, yeah. In these cases, the understanding of their approach towards the holy name, certainly Ramdas Vishwas, he may be offered liberation because he chanted the name, or his sins may be eradicated, but because he was carrying the conception of holy name, it was mixed with Mayavad understanding. It's called Pratibimba Nama. It's called Pratibimba Nama Bhas. So with that, one does not get the devotion. That is not a sadhana to attain sadhya of prema. So as the kind of sadhana we adopt, that kind of sadhya we get. It's natural. So while approaching Bhagavatam, it is to be understood from bhakti perspective. Otherwise, the same thing, it may not offer the result. Hope it is clear.
I'm sorry, I'm not so. For you, it is clear. I'm not yet satisfied that sadhana sadhya is known.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to understand is, if they are all merciful, then what does mercy mean? Mercy means you are given something which you are not qualified for. So my reflection is this. I don't know, you can check.
When you are talking about bhakti, then the shelter of a devotee is needed who is carrying bhakti in his heart. Even Srimad Bhagavatam is understood by the association of a devotee. Bhagavata Padagya Bhagavata Sthane. So then the bhakti comes, arises in the heart. Even the approach to holy name, when we go through a devotee, in case of Ramdas Vishwas, He rendered service to Raghunath Goswami. One may externally see that he is very submissive to him, but actually submission means to be willing to change the conceptions that we are carrying upon hearing the devotee. So that is the meaning of submission. It is not just external obedience. So when that is there, when I am able to submit my opinion in front of Acharya, that is a meaning of taking shelter. So if that is there, then definitely one will be blessed. Whether through Srimad Bhagavatam or whether through holy name or whether through any angas of bhakti. As Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says, whether one takes shelter of one anga or more than one anga or all angas, he will get the mercy of Lord. He will get the bhakti. That is sure. For that there is no doubt, because bhakti sanjayate bhakti.
Mission I am submitting to you to understand.
I am not the person. I can submit to the
Acharya. I was reflecting that maybe Devanand Pandit did not get Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam. He would have got it because Prabhupada's purports are Prabhupada's association and the Bhagavatam. I believe that Prabhupada's Bhagavatam won't have this effect. This is my mental speculation, but Prabhupada is there. So thank you.
Srimad Bhagavatam has all the pure devotees residing in that. Prahlada Maharaj and the gopis, all pure devotees are there in the Bhagavatam. But someone is not able to capture it, the spirit that they are carrying, right? Needs the association of a devotee who can point out how this is the bhakti. Yes, sir.
हरे कृष्ण गुरु जी, थैंक यू फॉर वंडरफुल क्लास। गुरु जी, मेरा प्रश्न है कि बहुत बार सुनते हैं प्रभुपाद जी अपने परपोर्ट में बताते हैं कि जो भक्त भक्ति प्रैक्टिस कर रहा है उसके लिए सारे वैदिक रिचुअल्स वगैरह पालन करने की उसको ज़रूरत नहीं है। जैसे पितृपक्ष आता है तो लोग पितरों को भोग चढ़ाते हैं, देवी देवता की शरण में जाते हैं, गणपति का सीजन आता है गणपति के अंदर चले जाते हैं। तो प्रभुपाद तो बोलते हैं जो भक्ति प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं उनको तो ये सब करने की ज़रूरत नहीं, क्योंकि वो अनन्य तरीके से भगवान की भक्ति में जुड़े हुए हैं। पर कुछ डिवोटीज ऐसे कहते हैं कि प्रभुपाद ने ये कहा ये तो ठीक है, पर वो डिवोटी के लिए कहा है, पर हम डिवोटी नहीं है, हम डिवोटी बनने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं। तो इसे कैसे समझा जा सकता है? वो बोलते हैं कि हम डिवोटी नहीं है, हम ये सब फॉलो कर करके एक दिन डिवोटी बन जाएंगे। तो क्या हम वो फॉलो कर करके हमें डिवोटी बनने का प्रयास करना चाहिए, या जो प्रभुपाद जी ने कहा है कि इवन इफ फॉर प्रैक्टिशनर हम डिवोटी बनने का प्रयास करें तभी हमें सब कुछ छोड़ के प्रभुपाद जी का ये पालन करना चाहिए और केवल भगवान की भक्ति पे फोकस करके अन्य जो भी वैदिक रिचुअल्स है उनको त्यागना चाहिए? प्लीज।
पहले डिवोटी कैसे बनना चाहिए इसका साइंस समझना चाहिए, भक्ति कैसे आती है। तो इसीलिए हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं प्रभुपाद का ये परपोर्ट। भक्ति कैसे आती है? भक्ति के अंग से हृदय में भक्ति उदय होती है। और भक्ति के अंग 64 रूप गोस्वामी ने 64 लिस्ट किए हैं भक्ति रसामृत सिंधु ग्रंथ में, जिसमें आता है भागवतम श्रवण करना, तुलसी को जलदान करना, नाम जप करना, तुलसी को प्रदक्षिणा करना। ये सब भक्ति के अंग हैं जो हमारे हृदय में भक्ति को उदय करते हैं। उसमें बाकी चीज़ें जैसे सुबह जल्दी उठना, ये सब गुडनेस वाले प्रैक्टिस है। सुबह जल्दी उठना, ये सुबह जल्दी उठने से भक्ति नहीं आता है। सुबह जल्दी उठना भक्ति के लिए अनुकूल, ब्रह्म मुहूर्त अनुकूल है, लेकिन ब्रह्म मुहूर्त खुद भक्ति नहीं देता है। तो इसीलिए हमें समझना है कौन सी चीज़ भक्ति को हृदय में उदय कराती है और कौन सी चीज़ नहीं है। तो जो भी आप लिस्ट कर रहे हैं, इनकी पूजा करना है, ये व्रत करना है, ये पालन करना है, यदि वह भक्ति के अंग हैं तो उससे हमारा भक्ति में प्रगति होगा और भक्ति में श्रद्धा बढ़ेगा। और जब श्रद्धा बढ़ेगा तो नेचुरली हमें बाकी चीज़ों का समझ में आएगा कि ये यहाँ से भक्ति नहीं आता है, कृष्ण से भक्ति, कृष्ण इससे प्रसन्न नहीं होते। तो हमें भक्ति क्या है और भक्ति क्या नहीं है, दोनों चीज़ें समझनी है। और कुछ कुछ चीज़ें संस्कार वगैरह रहते हैं, अभी करना भी है तो उसको हम वैष्णव तरीके में भी कर सकते हैं। जैसे पितृपक्ष का है, प्रभुपाद लिखते हैं कहीं जगह पे कि श्राद्ध कैसे ऑब्जर्व करते हैं. अद्वैताचार्य ने भी श्राद्ध ऑब्जर्व किया. कैसे किया? वैष्णव तरीके में किया. उन्होंने भगवान को भोग चढ़ाया और प्रसाद रूप में वितरण किया सबको. तो इस प्रकार से हम जो भी वैदिक प्रैक्टिसेस हैं उसको वैष्णव तरीके में भी कर सकते हैं यदि करना है तो. और क्योंकि हमारा श्रद्धा अभी तक चढ़ नहीं रहा है, उससे हट नहीं रहा है, तो उसको करना ही है. तो इस प्रकार से वैष्णव पद्धति में कर सकते हैं. जब हम कोई वैष्णव का संग लेते हैं, उसका संग शुद्ध है, तब वो श्रद्धा हमें भी आता है. तब हमें डाउट नहीं आएगा, अरे मैं नहीं किया तो कुछ बुरा तो नहीं होगा मेरे जीवन में. अगर ये चीज़ मैंने नहीं किया तो बुरा हो जाएगा, ये चीज़ मैंने नहीं किया तो बुरा हो जाएगा. इस प्रकार का डर है तो समझना चाहिए कि उसके ऊपर मेरा अभी तक श्रद्धा है. लेकिन जब हम ऐसे भक्तों का संग करते हैं जिनके हृदय में भक्ति के मार्ग पर पूर्ण रूप से श्रद्धा है, उनसे श्रवण करते हैं, तो हमारा श्रद्धा स्थिर बनता है. उदाहरण के लिए नहीं, बताइए, ये समझ रहा है या कंफ्यूज कर रहा है? आई थिंक वी आर गोइंग बियॉन्ड टाइम.
जी, लास्ट क्वेश्चन. हम लोग जब शुरू में प्रचार करते हैं तो वी से कि भक्ति का मार्ग छोड़ने का नहीं जोड़ने का मार्ग है, लोगों को अट्रैक्ट करने के लिए कि आप जो भी कर रहे हो, आप खाना खा रहे हो, सो रहे हो, यू डू इट फॉर कृष्णा, यू ऑफर इट टू कृष्णा एंड देन यू टेक द प्रसाद. लेकिन जब वो भक्ति में गंभीर हो जाते हैं, देन वी स्टार्ट टेलिंग नाउ यू हैव टू गिव अप दिस थिंग्स, आपको ये छोड़ना पड़ेगा, ये छोड़ना पड़ेगा. तो शुरू में हम लोग बोलते हैं कि आप भक्ति को ऐड कीजिए अपने जीवन में, और फिर वो बोलते हैं कि जो भक्ति के अलावा जो चीज़ें अनुकूल नहीं है उसको हमको त्यागना होता है. सो दे फील चीटेड कि अरे हमको पहले बोला कि जोड़ने का मार्ग है, अभी बोल रहे ये छोड़ो, ये छोड़ो, ये छोड़ो. देन इट बिकम्स लिटिल बिट डिफिकल्ट टू कल्टिवेट देम फर्दर. प्रभु जी, तो कैसे उनको समझा सकते हैं? हरे कृष्ण.
There are two things in this, I think. Here we are not giving up any things that you are listing from the perspective of those who are considered living. These things, as we are discussing here, this is to be introduced when they have developed sufficient faith. And for new people, when they hear this, especially those who are from the background of karma, for them this becomes very difficult to digest. How can you say that this has nothing, no contribution in bhakti? So it becomes very difficult. And those who are having little bit faith towards any devotee, they may get a doubt and they may inquire from him and they understand. But those who have still stuck up on the faith of karma, for them this becomes very difficult to accept. So we don't tell these things to those who have not yet developed the faith. Now here we are discussing. Therefore, 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗃 gives nothing less than pure devotional service. And devotees are very merciful. They reveal right things at right time. And they are not being cheated. Cheating means you have ulterior motive for selfish purpose. But here, which may appear cheating, is not having any selfish intention. It is done only to reveal him the truth. He is not ready yet for hearing the truth. It will take time, but surely he will come to the level of understanding if he continues. So that is not considered cheating. Rather, it can be considered as maturity. For example, in second standard, we don't teach students that 2 minus 5 is minus 3. We say that 2 minus 3 is not possible. You cannot subtract a bigger number from a smaller number. But after fifth standard, we reveal the truth. We don't say that time. The person may say, but Prabhuji, that time you told 2 minus 5 is not possible. Yeah, that time you were still conceiving what is numbers. To conceive negative numbers is more difficult. So as the person grows, we reveal them the higher truths. So these higher truths have to be revealed. It's not cheating. It is explaining the person to his level. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If there are any mistakes, please forgive me. And if somebody is felt hurt by any of the statements, I beg forgiveness. Hare Krishna.